Ciryl, you were fighting a wonderful first round.
What's your reaction to the eye poke and how it went out?
I mean, I feel the way everybody feels. Great showing, shitty ending, you know? I think that after the Jones fight, a lot of people wrote Ciryl Gane off. He looked damn good tonight.
Yeah, what did you think about the fight on its way to the eye poke? What did you take from those 4 minutes?
Good. Looked like we were in for a few rounds and it was going to be a good fight.
It would seem obvious that a rematch is right on the cards. Would you like to just rebook these guys as soon as Tom is able to get back in there?
Yeah, total pain in the ass, but yes.
Nobody expected UFC 321 to end in complete disbelief. The heavyweight clash between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane was supposed to be a defining night, the kind of fight that shapes the future of an entire division. Instead, it turned into a whirlwind of confusion, frustration, and controversy after a single accidental eye poke brought everything crashing down. The crowd went from roaring to silent, the commentators hesitated, and social media lit up with chaos before the referee even called it. What should have been a career-making performance for one man turned into one of the strangest nights in modern MMA history. From the opening bell, it was clear both men came prepared. Ciryl Gane, sharp as ever, found his rhythm early. That trademark bounce, the clean footwork, the jab that constantly interrupts his opponent's plans. It was all on display. He kept Tom guessing, managing distance beautifully while sneaking in shots that disrupted Aspinall's timing. Tom, on the other hand, looked like a hunter studying his prey. He wasn't rushing like usual. He was patient, methodical, trying to find that perfect window to unleash his famous explosiveness. The tension built with every second, until a misplaced hand ended it all. It happened fast. Too fast for the brain to process. Fingers stretched, contact made, and Tom immediately grabbed his eye in visible pain. The referee paused the action, the doctor came in, and the crowd knew this was serious. Both eyes had been affected. Tom blinked, tried to clear his vision, but the look said everything. He couldn't see clearly enough to continue. When the referee waved it off, the room filled with disbelief. No knockout, no submission, no winner. Just a no contest. In a sport built around definitive outcomes, this was the worst case scenario. Within minutes, the online storm started. Tom quit. He looked for a way out. Ciryl was dominating. The comments flooded in faster than any official update. Some fans, impatient for answers, turned disappointment into blame. But the reality is more complex. Tom wasn't dealing with a minor poke. He took damage in both eyes. Anyone who's ever been poked knows the disorienting, burning pain that follows. At this level, 1 second of blindness can mean permanent injury. That's not quitting, that's self-preservation. And yet, perception is brutal in MMA. To some, toughness means fighting through everything, even when that could cost you your vision forever. Meanwhile, Gane's frustration was evident. You could see it in the slump of his shoulders, the disbelief in his eyes. He was doing everything right, executing his game plan perfectly, and now it was all for nothing. He wasn't celebrating or relieved. He was gutted. Both fighters had prepared for months, and now all that work evaporated in 4 minutes. The irony, Gane, known for his clean striking, was involved in one of the most infamous accidental fouls in recent memory. It wasn't malicious, just one of those cruel twists that make the sport so unpredictable. The aftermath was filled with noise. Analysts debated whether the gloves need to change, whether referees should issue earlier warnings, and whether point deductions should come faster. The truth is, the system has long needed reform. Accidental eye pokes aren't new. They're part of an ongoing flaw that every fighter risks every time they step in. One misjudged range check can cause months of recovery and years of speculation. What makes this case sting is how much was at stake. The undisputed heavyweight title, the top of the mountain, and a legacy still in the making. Jon Jones's name inevitably entered the conversation, because it always does. Some claimed this incident proved Jones would dismantle Aspinall. Others mocked the situation, saying Fate has a dark sense of humor. Tom didn't get to fight Jon, but still suffered the same kind of eye poke everyone associates with him. And yet, what many forgot is that Jones had his chance. He was offered the fight, and he declined. That's why this story isn't about comparisons. It's about how quickly public opinion flips when something doesn't go according to script. Behind the chaos were the fighters themselves, human, emotional, and stunned.
And let's address it, because I'm seeing it all over our chat. I'm seeing it all online. Tom quit. Tom quit. Tom quit. It got dicey out there for him, and he quit. And you know, if it hasn't happened already, you know Jon Jones is going to weigh in. This is the guy. This is the guy. For the record, Jon Jones was offered for the millionth time $30 million to fight this man, and he didn't. You can't claim after the fact, this is the guy, but you know he's going to spike the football. And there's a cruel irony involved in the fact that Tom doesn't fight Jon Jones, but still gets eye poked. But this is tough for him. This is the first time in his career where he's not going to be beloved by people, because people are going to accuse him of being a quitter, because they're going to say that the going got tough and he asked for a way out. I think that's absolute hogwash. He got poked in both eyes. It was straight out of the Three Stooges. But whatever I say doesn't matter. Whatever I say doesn't matter, because Chuck, you know this is going. I could just see it. I saw a couple of mentions already. When the going got tough, he bolted, right? That's what people are going to say. That's going to be the takeaway here, right?
Chat, he's not a quitter. Oh, it stopped! What an outcome! What an outcome of bullshit. That is not bullshit at all. He got raked, both his eyes closed. No, the narratives. We can make it work. Rematch booked. 6 more months of happiness. Tom's champ. Oof. No tweets from John. Oh, we saved it. Oh, that's bad. It's bad, that. Oh, one defense, boys. That counts. Keep your fingers to yourself, you little French cunt, then. What are you crying about? You did that twice in that fight. Tom wasn't prepared for the deep waters, I guess. He had a deep knuckle eye pokes. Proves John would beat him. I know, dude. John's eye pokes might have done it. It's an accident, the ref. Yeah, well, they're not going to call it a DQ, are they? Not a DQ victory.
Aspinall didn't storm off in anger. He walked away quietly, towel over his eye, processing a nightmare that unfolded live in front of millions. Ciryl Gane stayed professional, checking on him, trying to grasp what had just happened. Neither wanted this. Both men knew this wasn't the ending fans paid to see, but in fighting, sometimes the story isn't fair. Sometimes it's just pain without resolution. Let's not forget what happened before the stoppage. Gane looked phenomenal. His timing, his confidence, his rhythm. It all suggested he had found his best form again. For someone many had written off after the Jon Jones loss, this was a redemption performance in motion. He was piecing together combinations, moving beautifully, and staying composed under Tom's feints. But just as the fight was heating up, fate intervened. Aspinall's fans were waiting for his signature burst, that one exchange that changes everything, but it never came. The most anticipated heavyweight clash in years ended without a single decisive moment. Analysts will spend weeks debating what might have happened. Could Gane have kept his composure for 5 rounds? Could Tom have found a way to turn it around with one explosive sequence? Nobody knows, and maybe that's why this moment feels so haunting. It left every question unanswered. The what-ifs are louder than the facts. We didn't learn who's better. We only learned how fragile greatness can look when the unexpected happens. The rematch is inevitable. It's the only logical move. Neither fighter got what they trained for. Both men want to erase this memory, to prove something, not to the crowd, but to themselves. When they meet again, the stakes will be even higher, because now it's personal, not in a bad blood sense, but in the way unfinished business burns inside elite athletes. Aspinall wants redemption. Gane wants confirmation. The next one won't be just a fight. It'll be a statement, and that's what makes UFC so raw. The sport is built on split seconds and chaos. Fans love the violence, the precision, the tactics. But what really keeps people coming back is unpredictability. Anything can happen at any time. That's both the beauty and the curse of MMA. One poke, one slip, one moment, and history rewrites itself. UFC 321 proved that even on a night set for greatness, the sport can flip the script in an instant. When the dust settles, what remains is respect. Gane showed his elite skill set. Aspinall showed professionalism by not risking irreversible injury. Both deserve another shot to finish what was started. The crowd may boo, the chat may accuse, but time always reveals truth. And when these two meet again, we'll finally get the closure we were robbed of. The rematch won't just determine a winner, it'll settle an entire narrative. So yes, it was a nasty eye poke, a brutal, unfortunate twist that froze the heavyweight division in suspense. But this isn't the end of Tom Aspinall's story, and it's not the end of Ciryl Gane's either. This was just the pause before the real fight. When they finally step back into that cage, there'll be no doubts, no excuses, and no interruptions, only impact, because next time, someone's walking out undisputed and nobody will dare call it luck. The emotional fallout after UFC 321 stretched far beyond the octagon. Fans who had traveled across countries to witness this historic matchup were left staring at the big screen in disbelief. Many couldn't process what they'd just seen. Some booed out of frustration, not malice. They just wanted closure. Others stood in stunned silence, knowing how much both fighters had sacrificed to get here. Every fighter dreams of career-defining nights like this, but nobody dreams of having them end in confusion. For Tom Aspinall, it wasn't just a no contest. It was a gut punch after years of climbing the ranks and waiting for validation as the true heavyweight king. In the hours after the fight, slow-motion replays started circulating online. Analysts broke them down frame by frame, debating intent, technique, and reaction time. What they all agreed on was that the poke was clearly accidental. Gane's fingers extended during a transition, a millisecond mistake that changed everything. It's the kind of thing that happens dozens of times in sparring, but rarely under the blinding lights of a pay-per-view main event. Still, accidents don't soften the damage. The image of Aspinall clutching his eye became the lasting snapshot of the night, one that fans and fighters alike won't forget anytime soon. By the next morning, the UFC landscape had already shifted. Discussions about glove redesigns resurfaced with new urgency. Medical experts weighed in about corneal abrasions and long-term vision risks, and promoters quietly began drafting plans for the inevitable rematch. In a strange way, the chaos might fuel something even bigger. When Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane meet again, it won't just be about redemption, it'll be about rewriting the narrative that fate hijacked. One accidental eye poke turned triumph into tragedy, but in MMA, redemption stories burn brighter than anything else. The next chapter will decide whether UFC 321 becomes a forgotten mishap or the spark that led to one of the greatest heavyweight rivalries in modern history.